I teach walking around the disc. I teach you to not walk around the disc. Go like this and count to 1. 1. Okay. Now I want your off arm to keep that same rhythm. 1. But now I want this arm to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I separated my body from my arm, and that's why I always tell my students that it's like rubbing your head and patting your belly. Well, you know what I'm saying. I don't know why I have a basketball. Get out of my way. Your basketball career is over. That means you have to learn to pace this arm to arrive at full extension whenever you want. So for example, if I go like this, I didn't have time to go back before I fully extended because I went 1. Now if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, I had time to bring the whole body back, but I kept my arm extending. So now that you're extending very slowly, you have to make sure that at full extension, when you finally do extend, when your body's coming through, you have to actually extend. This muscle has to look like that. If you actually walk around the disc, which means you're X-stepping, and you try to leave it here and then walk around it, it's going to be extremely difficult to engage that muscle in any real way, in any way that it's actually effective and strong and powerful. This is me actually trying to leave the disc in one spot. So you actively extend slowly with good pacing, like I just showed you, and you add the X step, the illusion is created. That's all it is. It's an illusion. You actually have to earn it too. Like I earned it. I spent the last year not really working on my game, but I spent a lot of time working on different extensions. And this one was tough because not only do you have to go really slow, you have to work it from in to out. And that's also what helps create the illusion. More importantly, it's how you create space. So you're really just going 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, now we're going to analyze Ben's form from Ben's Big Drive. If you don't know about him, definitely go subscribe to his channel. We have a collaboration on there, and he's on his journey to becoming a pro. Ben posted this nice rip on Instagram the other day, and I reached out to him and asked him if I could analyze his form. And Ben, being the coolest dude in the world that he is, he said okay. So I'm pretty excited about it because Ben's on his way to becoming a pro, and if I can help in any way, that's just awesome for me. It's a nice rip. I pretty much look at form all day long, every day. In the grand scheme of things, this is a nice rip. It looks good. It looks quick. Looks rotational. Good with the quick twitch muscles. In slow motion, the footwork's good. The brace is good. Maintains a nice hyzer position. I can't maintain that position. Look, he maintains it all the way through the follow through. All right, let's critique it now. Now, Ben did not tell me that he's trying to walk around the disc. So I actually have no idea if that's like his mentality. And even if he's not walking around the disc, this is still something I think he needs to work on. So let's just say for argument's sake, he is trying to walk around the disc.
Oh, hey there, Coach T. I'm not actively trying to walk around the disc, but for the sake of argument, let's go with that. Carry on.
So this is when Ben arrives at full extension. So basically what happens is you choose a spot to actually leave the disc as you're doing your X step and then walk around it and leave it there. So basically what happens when you try to do this, it doesn't stay in one place. And ultimately you look like you're trying to get away from the spot where the disc is supposed to stay. Each frame, the disc pulls away from that line, but the extension stays full. So it's not actually creating that illusion that it's staying in one place. So this puts Ben in a situation where he sort of has to pull more with his shoulder, even though I wouldn't call Ben a puller because he does a good job with his fast twitch muscles in his arm to get his arm to whip in and out of 90 degrees. It looks like I'm walking around the disc. but I'm actively extending the entire time to make sure that it actually floats. Very specifically, once I reach full extension, it's still there, and from here, it just actually slings forward. We want the disc to float all the way until the arm just shoots forward. And the only way to do that is to do it actively. The point here is if you want to walk around the disc, you have to think about it differently. Think about it as a magic trick that you want it to look like you're walking around the disc. He leaves the disc in one place. I do the bounce back, which is my extension that I invented. I'm going to talk about that next. But the important thing here, you have to activate and stretch this muscle. And if you walk around the disc, you're going to end up deactivating it. This isn't a full activation here. Ben has 100 more feet, and I know it. But everything he does is actually really good. He just needs to flip the order. He just needs to work on getting more of a touch extension, developing a little more skill right there so that he can pace the arm and have it arrive at the right time. We want that rotation to happen as his arm is arriving. The way I teach this in my training program is I take out the step, because when you're working on extending like this, it takes a lot of focus. And if you eliminate the step, you eliminate the momentum. It's a lot easier to figure it out. And then we move on to the one step. So my biggest advice to Ben is to take it to a standstill and just focus on that extension and eliminate all those other factors that make it hard to focus on one thing at a time. Now I'm going to talk about my extension, and before I do, I'm just going to say that I don't teach the way that I do it unless someone asks me to. I teach what Paul McBeth does. So if you see my form, that doesn't mean I'm teaching it that way.
So for me, I do have to keep it inactive while I coil. So I'm really just doing the Waisaki. I'm not extending. And then my off arm and my left side gives me permission to extend. That's how I think about it. So I wait for this to come through and then I aggressively extend. And what that does is bounces my arm back. And because it bounces my arm back so much more, because I have so much more momentum going that way, from here to here is very, very easy. And that's pretty much it. It just creates more of a bounce back. You know, a good comparison is squatting. If you start in a stationary position and then you squat up, you cannot lift as much weight as you can if you start here and you go down and give yourself a little bounce. That's what I do there.